Why is there such a fear over something so controversial? It's time to deliver the answers to that question and many more as we attempt to get beneath the hood. So how exactly has a simple item of clothing become such a symbolic and strong figure of hate? Psychology lecturer Sarah Allen was kind enough to give us some of her spare time to share her beliefs from a psychological standpoint as to why this generalisation and discrimination is occurring.
We have several ways that people can change the way they look. So we have something like the hoodie culture, which is a problem because you're actually putting off half the face. Okay, so this makes people nervous because they can't see any hair or any kind of distinguishing features around the ear kind of area, and the eyes are sometimes covered as well, depending on how far the hood is actually pulled down. If a hoodie is worn in the middle of summer by a teenager, then maybe they are being a rebel. But a hoodie is a warm piece of clothing that anyone can wear in the winter. So yes, maybe some people who are easily impressionable would go out and buy a hoodie because it's the latest craze, but I really do think that it's a more practical piece of clothing. The media have taken over the vision of the hoodie and they have put all these different negative connotations and negative stereotypes around it. So if you wear a hoodie, you are automatically a member of youth culture, or you're automatically a member of a gang, or you're going to commit some kind of crime, which is clearly ridiculous.
You can't fight the tears that ain't coming, or the moment the truth in your lies, when everything feels
Cascades because you've got a hood. And like old grannies lads walk around with their hoods up, they don't stop them, but they stop me.
No, I think it's a bit stupid to keep having those hoodies. I think you look like an oxymoron.
You're just followed by security guards when I go into shops, that sort of thing. Police officers when I'm out in town, that sort of thing. Just generally followed by security, assuming I'm stealing.
Are our views our views, or is it what the media has forced us into? We contacted media experts Kevin Robinson and Mark Edwards to find out if the way the media is portraying the hood is being directly influential to the amount of shopping centres banning them, and the negative view towards today's youth that the majority of the public have.
There's various different influences in everyone's life, whether that's friends, whether that's family, particular religious beliefs. The media fits in there, of course, but you can't say that just because somebody watches horror films all the time they're going to become a mass murderer. It just doesn't work like that, it's much more complicated. In some ways it would be easier if it did work like that, because then you could just ban those type of films and society would be fine. But as has been proven in the past, when you've had things outright banned, it hasn't really stopped anything. People will seek out what they want to view in terms of media.
Crime. I've given your life a purpose. You're a test subject for something greater than yourself.
Freeze! Please! Hold it right there, don't move!
I personally have a problem with any report that says there is a link between any media portrayal of violence or behaviour and the actuation of that behaviour in real life. No study has ever been conclusive in this area, and in fact it's probably an impossibility to produce an accurate study. So many factors affect people's daily lives that it's just an easy and convenient out to blame any form of media for that practice.
Look out, mate. We're the most watched country in the world. Keep your head down.
There's a tendency in the media to grab hold of stereotypes and to use them to sell newspapers, to sell films, whatever it is, and that's an easy image. People, there's a kind of general sense of as an ideology that things are getting worse, and that 20 years ago there wasn't so much crime on the streets and all that kind of thing. And if you actually look at the statistics, that doesn't necessarily prove true. Violent crime has actually gone down in recent years. But the portrayal of violent crime in media has gone up. So it's that kind of thing where people think things are getting worse, and actually probably not.
People in general should be allowed to wear what they want, and the media shouldn't be able to influence people's reactions to that. But there is a postscript to this, and I have some, I guess in some ways quite a lot of sympathy with Blue Water's reaction. The wearing of an item of clothing designed to obscure somebody's face, which is what the hoodie essentially is doing, particularly in conjunction, as it frequently is, with a baseball cap, which obscures the face even more, and those people then gather in large quantities using body language which is associatively aggressive and intimidatory, is going to have a certain effect on people viewing them.
There is a horrendous level of generalisation by the media, and I will say that certain sections of the media are worse than others. So certain news channels, who I won't mention, are not reporting news anymore, but actually putting an opinion on it.
To wear a hood indoors, you know, the functionality of the hood is gone, because it's there to keep you warm and keep the rain off you. Well, it's not doing that inside blue water anyway. And to then have a hat on is just wearing two hats in the house, you know, it's not. So it only has, from the viewer's point of view, a need of associated meaning, and the associated meaning is the one that is being generated by the culture around it, by the Hollywood that you're talking about. What you have is either two situations there. One is people are consciously choosing to project that image to the general public by wearing that hood, or they are completely and totally unthinkingly, mindlessly following what is given to them. If it's the latter, then it's actually quite concerning. If it's the former, then what are you complaining about? You understand what it is.
A lot of the populace own tops with hoods on, myself included, and if it's raining, I'm going to wear a damn hood.
I think the saddest thing about it all isn't necessarily the restriction or any curtailment of individual freedom. I think it's just quite sad in a way that we live in a society where people want to be anonymous, where people want to lose their individuality in that way.
Why do we generalise in this way? Because it's easy for us to do that. It's too difficult for us to think of every single person as a unique person. Our brain would be overloaded. Whereas if we have something called a schemata or a schema, we can actually generalise to other people and make our life much, much easier for ourselves.
It's a really weird outlook on life to want to vanish. And that's, I think, the saddest thing of it all.